everybody, welcome back to Vintage Fashion Hat Chat. I'm Norma Shepherd, director of the Mobile Millinery Museum and the author of 5 books on vintage fashion, including 1,000 hats. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. I can hardly believe it, and of course things are really crazy. I hope everybody's staying safe and well. I've just I've just heard from my son, who won't be coming. His kids, I guess there's been outbreaks of COVID in my grandchildren's school classes, and of course I'm not the only one. We're not the only ones this is happening to. I hope everyone's staying safe and well. This is definitely a very different Christmas, but I got to thinking about the idea of a very. I got thinking to the about the cons. I got thinking about the concept of simplicity. And looking back to stories my mother told me about how things were during the Second World War. And in fact, for years now, I've used my grandmother's, it was labeled her wartime fruitcake recipe, which everyone loves, even people who don't like fruitcake love mine. It's a dark fruitcake. And of course, they made substitutions during the war because there were a lot of things they couldn't get. And a similar thing happened this year. I wasn't even going to make it because the bins of glazed cherries, at the bulk barn, they were just empty, empty, empty. Never seen them like that. But eventually I decided, well, I'm just going to make the same old recipe but with different fruit. So we've yet to test it. But, I substituted apricots, I substituted with apricots and substituted my dark Thompson raisins with golden raisins, and used some dried cherries and dried cranberries. So it'll be a little different, and the recipe does not call for nuts. I've never put nuts in it. Not that any of you care about this. But anyway, so that just got me thinking about simplicity and the simplicity of some of those I would call it magnificent simplicity of some of those hats from the war years when fabrics and the time that could go into the making of fashion was restricted. So even though, we're coming on to Christmas, I am wearing my festive, what I consider simplistic hat. Most of my hats are a lot fancier than this, but this is a favorite of mine at Christmas time, and I'll tell you more about it at the end. But I do want to show you some hats from the mid-20th century that are magnificently simple. So I will start off. I'm going to start off with this one. Brown is not something we usually think of as a festive color, but this is a slouch hat. It's from the 1930s. Very simple in its shape, but there's a fair amount of work that went into stitching these segments. It actually is a twill fabric, and this sort of stripy effect has been created just by stitching. So I'm going to show you how that's worn. If you're a fan of the old Hollywood movies, you might enjoy seeing some of these slouch hats, very dramatic, very Greta Garbo. She was quite a fan of the slouch hat. In fact, her milliner, she wrote in her memoirs that it distressed her that Garbo only wanted this style of hat, and she said, I could put an old horse feed bag on that woman, and she would like it. And so the milliner didn't have a lot of opportunity for creativity outside of that style for Garbo. Anyway, so, you might look at this hat on the shelf and just think, well, there's nothing much to that. But if you're a fan of those old dramatic mid-20th century Hollywood movies, you might enjoy getting on the hunt for something like that. Now, another one in brown, also from the 1930s, is this lovely little straw, very small crown, nicely shaped brim. You see what wire can do? And a skilled hand in stitching all of these rounds of straw together. And then simplicity again in the bow. Bows are great. I mean, it's what we decorate our Christmas gifts with, isn't it? So bows are great. The plain grosgrain ribbon band is just tucked in a few places to give it a bit of interest. And then, of course, you have the chignon strap with the elastic and the ties. So this hat as well is worn tilted to the side, just over one eye. Really cute, quite simple, but it certainly draws the eye upward and gives you some really great millinery interest. Now another one, this one is from the 40s, and the magic in this is all in the shaping. This is a Milan straw, very fine. It's a wonderfully shiny straw, this particular one, and you can see how it's all in the shaping to make this an interesting yet fairly simple appearing hat. And this one's from the 1940s. So quite simple, almost a halo effect, a little bit of additional tied straw just to give it a bit of decoration. Now a real favorite of mine is this navy beret, but you will see that it's going to... Now a real favorite of mine is this navy beret. You can see it's a felt, this flattened wide grosgrain ribbon bow gives it some interest, but still it's very simplistic. Some tiny little stitches kind of pinch. The tiny stitches pinch together the top and the under brim of this hat. And then when you look inside, you might wonder, how on earth will I ever get that on my head? Look how small the opening is. But this was a very stylistic beret that would have been But this is a very stylistic beret that would have been bobby pinned to the back of the hair or sat over a bun. This inner opening could be easily wrapped around a bun, and then this is the interest that you're going to see at the back. Now this label is an oldie, exclusive millinery shop, St. Catherine Street, Montreal. Oh, it looks like they had two locations. This was a chain, exclusive millinery shops at 734 and 925 St. Catherine Street. So, you know, you just don't find those millinery salons anymore. I think they've been replaced with tattoo parlors. Now another one of very unusual, simple style. Now another one, very simply styled, is this very shiny lacquered straw that's been shaped. It reveals inside where the center back is, which might surprise you. So this is from the 1930s, the late 1930s. Very, very simple. Again, the under brim gives you some elevation and some interest. You could slip a feather around the band. You could slip a feather quill around. There is no band. There is no band on this hat, but you could slip a feather quill where the crown meets the brim, and add a little bit more interest. But it really doesn't need anything. And this is another variation on the slouch hat. One more that's simple in its design, but it is embellished, is this little 1950s white straw. It's banded in navy velvet. And then, of course, we have the flowers on top. Beautiful white straw. Kind of interesting. It has this bit of it has this extension at the back, which enables you to just pop the hat on like this. Oh dear. Okay. So this next one is circa 1950. It is a creamy white straw. Again, look at all this intricate sewing from the center crown in concentric circles. So it's circle shaped, a very shallow crown, which extends to a little bit of an upturned brim that's trimmed with navy velvet. Of course, we have these fabric flowers on the brow, and also a velvet ribbon bow. And the beauty of this one is it's just a simple little disc with an extension at the back that enables you to just pop it on. And then this creates a little halo hat effect, although it's further back. And this is a great hat back in the day, you know, if you were going to a ladies' meeting or a tea. If you're sitting down, this is when everybody gets to see how cute the hat is. So the label on this one is Leslie Monroe, Paris, New York. And I'll just give you a little look at that. So there we have it. I will go back to popping on my hat. Okay, so I am back in my what I would consider a simple Christmas hat, the green satin. It's a gorgeous bow. I mean, it just looks like it's could wrap a present. This is a Maria Curcic. I talk about her a lot, and if you're new to this channel, I will put her contact information in the description box. She makes beautiful fascinators and hats. They don't move. They're always comfortable. She sells online. She just she's got a great aesthetic. So I'll leave you with that. This is Thursday. Monday, of course, Christmas holiday will be over, and hopefully I will have a new hat or two to show you. My wish list to Santa was for a puppy, but I've been told I'm probably not going to get that. So maybe I'll get a hat. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. Stay safe and well, and enjoy the rest of the day. Have a happy Christmas.